What a moment there. PSG Arsenal. Finally, the finalists actually have been discovered. Where we have PSG versus Inter Milan. Welcome you on the show. 360 Toronto TV, Adeni Gishafe. A moment of joy for PSG fans over there at the Parc des Princes. What a moment. What a joyous moment for them. Seeing their team doing well against Arsenal. Arsenal almost get it done. Cost of Saka. Well, that's another year for them. They'll be running after UEFA Champions League trophy right now. Well, taking you through the story that we have for you on the show. UCL semi-final. PSG edge Arsenal 2-1. PSG win that particular game 3-1 on aggregate. Well, it was a moment that all Arsenal fans across the globe were looking at. Maybe they'll be able to do it. In fact, it was almost a game that they could have called to extra time, but it never happened. What a match there, a very tense one. The semi-final of this year UEFA Champions League really gave a lot of football fans across the globe something to behold. What a moment in the world of football. Inter Barcelona, and you have PSG versus Arsenal. Very sweet experience in the first leg. Second leg, superlative performance from the four teams. Really, they deserve to actually be in the final. All the four teams, they did well. And right now in the studio, Joseph Peter is here, the Arsenal man. Well, I'm sure you're still... Let me take that laughter deeper. What went wrong yesterday?
Actually, nothing went wrong. Nothing, really.
Okay, you guys won.
No.
Okay,
we lost. We lost, but nothing. It's not the end of the world. One. Number two, if you are an ardent Arsenal follower and you follow Arsenal closely, this particular season is actually not as bad as a lot of banter throwing opponents would want to throw. Yesterday, Arsenal played superlatively well. I'm very, very much satisfied with their performance because they pinned PSG. PSG was all the goals PSG scored was a counter goal, which is normal. If you go and you pin your opponent when they get the ball, they will counter you. And considering the amount of talent that they have, so it's really not something bitter or something to be bitter about. Arsenal tried their best and made it to the semi against Inter. Although, like I've always said in this program here, that Inter is the favorite to win the Champions League. I've said it right from quarterfinals. So it's turning out to be. But for Arsenal, for me, this is just another platform or level for them to build on. The only thing that is missing when it comes to their performance is maybe I know where we were when Arteta joined. I know where the club was, and look. We are in the discussion of the semi-finals of the Champions League. We are discussion in the league table as the second in position. If not for referee bad officiating and a bit of lack of luck because of injuries, Arsenal would have won the league, not Liverpool. But people don't bring this into it, and you can't use this to defend lack of success. I understand that, which is why I understand why banter is being thrown at us. But for me, I've seen it all. This is a good season from Arsenal.
Well, I love the fact that at least to some extent you have to send some consolatory message to your fans, to Arsenal fans out there, at least make it interesting. We've been talking about UEFA Champions League semi-final second leg. What a moment there at the Parc des Princes. They came to the party, they fought hard. Well, PSG triumph. Hakimi celebrating that man of the match, and also with his teammate. Let's have it a short while there. PSG celebrate that particular win with ecstasy. Moment of celebration there. That's as if they won the trophy.
Look at these guys. You guys have not won the trophy yet, but
they just have to
have defeated Arsenal with the current performance and the level of Arsenal is actually something to celebrate.
And what Arsenal did against Real about this game, fantastic one there. That's Donnarumma, the goalkeeper. He really deserves to be the best goalkeeper of this season. UEFA Champions League is outstanding, doing so well, showing so much streak when it comes to winning or keeping for his team, doing so well in almost all the matches they've actually engaged in so far. Well, kudos to Donnarumma. He has done well for his team, PSG, and they won't forget that in a hurry. Well, right now, we just have to listen to what the PSG coach, Enrique, and also the player, Hakimi, actually spoke about after the game.
Luis, congratulations, a Champions League final. What does that mean to you and your team?
It means a lot, a lot. Everybody is dreaming with getting a Champions League final, and our first goal when we arrived to Paris was to making history, and we are in the right path.
Inter Milan in the final. Did you watch the game last night, and can you win this?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think they have the same feeling. I think it's going to be an interesting final, very difficult for both teams, but yeah, that's a moment, a special moment for all of us, for them also, and I think they are getting the second final in the last 3 years, which means that they are a great team, but we have time to analyze Inter in deep. Now it's time to celebrate, to try to enjoy, and to have some rest.
You've knocked out all the Premier League opposition in this competition.
Yeah, the League of Farmers, no? We are the League of Farmers, but sometimes, yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I think now we are enjoying not only the results, but also the compliments of everybody speaking about our team. We are a young team, but the mentality and the character, and also the play of how we play football, I think it's nice, and it's awesome. I have to congratulate my players because they are great.
And I'll say happy birthday to you for tomorrow. A nice early present. Oh, it's midnight.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations, PSG through to a Champions League final. Do you have the words?
I don't have any words. I think I just enjoying this moment. We are really happy for what we make to arrive in the final. I think we deserve after hard work since we started the season. So now is moment to enjoy and keep working to bring this trophy to Paris back.
It's the one that has eluded Paris Saint-Germain, this Champions League. For you guys to be the ones to bring it home, what would that mean?
That wanna be like a dream come true. It's something that we've been working, I think, 4 years right now since I come to Paris. Is something that I have in mind. Also, I think our fans, our support, since they follow this club, I think they want this trophy for the first time come in Paris. So we're gonna work in that. We are really good in a good way, and we have to continue and work hard to the last game.
It's a final against Inter Milan. Did you watch the game last night? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I watched the game. It was amazing. It was like, people love football. This kind of game you enjoy to watch, and we know the point forward of Inter. So now we have to enjoy our moment, of course, of today, recover well, and prepare very good this game that is going to be a big final.
I wish you the very best. Are you happy, or have you seen enough progress with your team this season?
100%. I don't think there's been a better team in the competition so far, what I've seen. But we are out tonight. We deserve much more, I think, in both games. But this competition is about the boxes, and in the boxes there are normally the strikers most of the time and a goalkeeper, and he was the best player in both games.
Ultimately, what do you want to do over the summer to make changes or add to get further?
I'm so proud of the boys, and what they deserve a lot of credit for what they're doing in the context and the situation, and with the amount of injuries. We have arrived here probably in the worst state that you can arrive as a team. You have to get here with everybody fit, available, with a lot of minutes, with rest, like they had a week. We come here in a completely different context and still do that. So that gives me a lot of positivity for the future. But tonight I'm very upset.
And Mikel, thank you for talking to us anyway. Martin, do you feel you left it all out there and did all you could tonight?
Yeah, we gave it a proper go. I think we started the game really well. We're on the front foot, had the momentum, had a few big moments, big chances. But yeah, in the end, wasn't enough. I think between the boxes we did really well, and then inside the boxes, over the 2 games, we weren't good enough. And yeah, credit to their goalkeeper as well, who made some amazing saves. But yeah, it wasn't enough, and that's painful.
Ultimately, what was the difference between you both over the 2 legs, do you think?
think in the boxes. I think especially today what we did with the ball between the boxes, how we dominated, how we took the control of the game from the start, and we created some big moments. But yeah, we weren't strong enough and sharp enough in front of the goals, and I think that's where we lost it.
Look, you're captain of this team, and the harsh reality is it's another season without a trophy, which of course must hurt. But what is the players' perspective of this?
It's painful, very painful. I think we wanted to do the big thing. It was a big goal in the league and also here in the Champions League. So yeah, massive disappointment. But we have to stay strong. We have to stay together, and we have to take the lessons and take that pain and use it. And yeah, we have to just come back stronger.
What do you think needs to be done, changed, worked on potentially over the summer? So next season, it cannot be a nearly season; it can be the season.
Yeah, we have to learn from this. As I said, we do a lot of good things, but it's not enough. As I said, especially in front of the goals, that's where the games are decided, and that's where we have to be even sharper and get more out of all the good things we do. So yeah, that's.
Well, what a moment there, coming from Luis Enrique to Achraf Hakimi. Then you have Arteta and also Odegaard, all talking about the match. Well, it was a moment that all of them have to express themselves. Well, according to Arteta, said, okay, he will not take away the credit to the lads for what they've done this season. And for Odegaard, well, they tried their best, just didn't work out. And Enrique bringing down 4 tough teams from England.
That's massive.
Aston Villa, you have Arsenal among them. The man really did well.
He did.
Look at it, even Liverpool, Manchester City.
Yeah, and it's you know, these 4 clubs, the fans of these 4 clubs usually call the League One Farmers League.
Farmers League. And I love his response.
He mentioned it. He said, oh, Farmers team, the Farmers League, now they are
brought down
this is what they've done.
4 strong teams.
That tells you that, sometimes league doesn't matter. League really doesn't matter. Yes, you can argue that the competition that they face down there in France is not as stiff as the one an English club would face. But it still doesn't change the fact that football is all about fantastic 11 players that are good on the pitch. If you have them, no matter how low your league is, if those players have that standard, they would express it in the field. And that's what they've done. Look at, these are the best coaches in England. I mean, you could argue that these are the best as it stands right now. Maybe in fact, for me, they are the best.
Yes, right.
Because you can't bring Eddie Howe into this group. These are the best top coaches in England now, and he won against all of them, eliminated every single one of them, with his young squad. Congratulations to him. And according to what Arteta said, I believe I'm with Arteta. I mean, these kids, nobody, at least nobody came into this season as an Arsenal fan believing he's going to win the Champions League. Let's be honest with ourselves. But to have come this far, I mean, kudos to the players, and especially looking at the kind of season Arsenal had up till now, as we speak, from the beginning till the end of the season. After 2 matches, Arsenal never played with their full squad as a team up till now, and this is the end of the season. I mean, and they kept this competition, and they also stayed in these competitions. I mean, it's not. People look at things and people just underrate things, but it's not easy. We have lots of clubs. Alisson missing, they wouldn't be talking about winning the league. They won't be nowhere near the league, right? No, so people don't look at all these things and look at the performance of this young man Bukayo Saka, what he has been able to do. Let's not forget that this same player missed 3 months out of football, got injured. There were times where Partey was the one injured. Gabriel Jesus, he came back, was in form, scoring goals, scored 6 goals, and then just got the Achilles and went out for complete
now, this
season.
is their record so far in Premier League. 2022, second place. That shows that they've been building.
They've been building. And
maintaining that second place is not easy.
People don't take things for granted. It's not easy to be third and to be second 3 seasons. It means you are in the discussion. You can't be second, and you keep it up and you don't win the league. It's not possible. Yes, the jibe will be thrown. Nearly club.
20 of them are competing.
Everything.
Second, first one, second one, second.
And now second in the Champions League. Okay, you could argue that third in the Champions League or whatever, but they made it to the second, to the last position in the Champions League. So I see full growth and improvement in Arsenal, and I challenge anybody to come out and tell me If it were any of those clubs that had these kinds of important players missing throughout the season, would they be where they are now?
Well, to end it all, from what you have said, take a look at the screen.
No problem. This is just the season of 2024-2025. Nobody knows what will happen 2025-2026.
Maybe all this trophy are going to win it. The one behind it.
I can tell you one thing. Arsenal is not going to go trophyless next season.
Of course, that's why I said maybe look at it. Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, everything.
They are capable of winning anything here. They are capable of winning everything here if he goes out and signs one of Victor Gyökeres or
Osimhen.
No, maybe Osimhen. That person. Victor Gyökeres or Alexander Isak. Any of those players would give Arsenal a trophy. They may not win it all, but they would win a trophy.
They will win a trophy there. We've been looking at UEFA Champions League, and it has not been easy. Well, being trophyless is not a bad one for Arsenal. They've been coming second, meaning they are knocking at the door. Hopefully next season this door will open for the Gunners. You guys have to believe that. And I love the fact that Jose Peter will at least be able to represent Arsenal. Arsenal needs to vote for you as their president in Nigeria. At least Arsenal fans, Nigerian president for Arsenal fans. Oh, good one there. Supporters Club. You should get it. Maybe I should give you one boost, all right? You take this. Oh, good one there. Well, anyway, we'll be talking about this particular match there. PSG Arsenal. Fantastic moment for PSG, but they have to continue to enjoy it till they meet Inter Milan over there at the Allianz Arena in Germany, where they play the final come May 34th. What's going to be happening there? Well, we wait to see who wins this battle. Well, big one there. UCL final, let's have it there, because Inter Milan, they are coming to PSG. They've been able to make it, so both of them are meeting in the final. Well, let's talk about this. You look at the face of Dembele, look at the face of Lautaro Martinez and the other players behind, and look at the goalkeeper, Jan Sommer and Donnarumma. I love the fact that the two goalkeepers here, you want to give some kudos, extras to Donnarumma, but still look at Jan Sommer, what he did against Barcelona is a milestone.
Since the Champions League got to this quarterfinal stages, goalkeepers were just outstanding. You look at the game between Arsenal and the game between Liverpool and PSG. That day, Alisson stopped PSG from winning at Parc des Princes. Now, it happened. The same thing happened between Thibaut Courtois when he stopped Atletico Madrid from winning Real Madrid. The same thing went on. We had the first leg of Donnarumma at Arsenal. He stopped a lot of goals. Now he has done it again. Let's not forget about the heroics of Jan Sommer against Barcelona, both legs.
So the two of them now are going to be saving their team on the final day. Champions League final 2024-2025 coming up in Germany. We can't wait to see that day. Well, as it is, the two teams, Inter Milan versus PSG. Well, let the best team win. We've taken you through. But before we cross over to talk about under 20 AFCON, just a glimpse of, you look at Mbappe. Mbappe left PSG for Real Madrid, although he's doing well, even though they couldn't win the Champions League immediately they arrived. But really, he left, and the team he left actually begins to do well. Look at where they are. And before he actually left, they had Messi, Neymar, with himself. The three of them, they could not. They got to quarterfinals and they were bundled out.
They had Sergio Ramos at some point.
Of
Marco
course.
Asensio was
experience
doing well.
and whatever you want to call
They
it.
bought everything. PSG spent close to $2 billion, if not more than $2 billion, on trying to win the Champions League, just for request for Champions League. But one thing with football doesn't lie to you. You have to do things organically before you win it. You be in and around it before you win it. And you would have a team. That's why football is a team sport. When they had Mbappe, Neymar, and Junior, how many clashes, and Messi, how many clashes were they having in their dressing room? Lots of clashes. The coach was busy. Coaches that went through PSG at that period were busy, having problem with man management, fixing man management problems instead of tactical problems. They had too much ego in their dressing room. But right now, he has a group of players, sent those ones away, brought up a group of players that are willing to play for the badge, not for themselves. Look at Mr. Inconsistent. and then Ousmane Dembele
at Barcelona.
At Barcelona, and even when he was at Dortmund, he was an inconsistent player. He's very good, fantastic, with his dribbles and his speed and speed and everything. But he could not, replicate it consistently. But this coach has been able to bring out that consistency in this player, and he's even playing him as a free role player. He goes wherever he wants to go to in the middle of the park, takes the ball and shares it, and he is the leader of that team. So all this credit, as far as I'm concerned, it goes to Luis Enrique for all he has been able to achieve. Removing the ego that's within the dressing room, and then grooming a group of players and bringing the best out of one of the best players in the world.
Well, seriously, you just have to give kudos to PSG for what they've done without the trio that you are seeing there, and you have to appreciate that. Well, okay. Okay, somebody just sent this in. That's a plus there. Good one. Okay, even though he didn't add his name, but we'll have loved him to add his name. Good morning, Trust TV. Your guy right there with you is just speaking as an Arsenal fan. Well, take it as a consolation word. That's for Joseph. He's making no meaning at all. Arsenal is up there in EPL because other teams are going through the building process. English don't enter. They should be winning the league and not finishing second and making noise. This is for Joe, not me. There's nothing special in them. Next season will be hot. Maybe he wants to say will be hotter. Maybe they're already telling you guys that you won't win anything.
Thank God he mentioned building. Okay. So that's what he's just making my point. The Arsenal have been building.
So he didn't say you. He
said other teams. That's the thing. Other teams are building. The problem is in a building there's a stage. There is the foundation stage, there is the wall stage, there is the linter stage. Arsenal have reached the linter stage and are about to roof. And when Arsenal roofs, they will go and accommodate their house before what he is talking about will happen.
Oh my goodness. There's a fan that wrote that. I would love to know your club and your name so that at least one way you guys will do head-to-head together. But seriously, to some extent, even though he doesn't agree with, or she doesn't agree with you, maybe a male or female, but sincerely, maybe I should go school debates now. To some extent, you'll be able to convince some people that Arsenal this season preparing against next to see if they can win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Premier League, the four treble.
Why not?
Who knows?
Why not?
And who knows?
Why not? Now, maybe I'm going to tell you that Arsenal...
Maybe they will remain like this.
Yes, no problem. But I'm telling that guy or that girl or that woman or whoever sent that to watch out for the name Max Doman. We'll talk about him next season.
Oh my goodness. As it is right now, I don't know, maybe this trophyless will be trophies. Next season, the L could be removed and then it will turn to one. Okay, maybe the person saying this is already seeing trophyless next season, or maybe saying, okay, remove the YL and change it to I, making trophies, making them winning all the four. According to him, next season will be very hot.
It will be very hot, but the thing is, Man U will start their building because they've not started. Man U will start their building next season. Chelsea have started their building, but they need to get like maybe 2 or 3 seasons in their belt. And for City, it's going to be a revamp. So I don't even know what to expect from City until I see it. The only challenge that, as far as I'm concerned, would be Liverpool. Because they have built, they are good. All they need to do is just finishing touches to the transfer of Alexander-Arnold. That's what they need.
As it is right now, we're taking you through UEFA Champions League. Well, Arsenal finally so has really been giving them basketballs. We've been trying to see how we can make the show interesting. But right now, well, let's delve away from the UEFA Champions League. Let's talk about another one that happened. Why were a lot of people were enjoying that? A match was played earlier that has to do with Nigeria under 20. What's happening to our team? We've always been very good at the underage grade, but right now we're struggling in this tournament. Under 20 AFCON taking place in Cairo, Egypt. Well, as it says, Flying Eagles will reach quarterfinal. They were able to do it after playing 2-2 draw against Kenya. What a game! The same team, Kenya, they lost against Tunisia and also Morocco, but this time around they came up against Nigeria. They rose to the occasion and it ended 2-2 in that particular encounter. Well, let's take a look at the result. Actually, this one ended 2-2, and also we look at Morocco also were able to do well, playing their game there, winning 3-1 against Tunisia. Morocco won all the other 2 games. They drew 1 against Nigeria, 0-0, 2-2, Nigeria versus Kenya. And if you look at the Group B right now, how it's standing, Morocco topped the group there because of the fact that they were able to at least win 2 matches, and they drew 1, 7 points. For Morocco, Nigeria 5 points, Tunisia 3, and then you have Kenya with 1. Right now, Nigeria and Morocco scaled through to the quarterfinals because of our time, we're running. Man of the match actually went to the Kenya player, Wangaya there for the man of the match. He did well. Wangaya winning the man of the match. And that's a good one, Injehu Wangaya. I love that name. Sounds very African. Injehu Wangaya.
Very, very
Maybe
African.
you should the name you should be calling me now. Injehu Wangaya. Okay, give me kudos to him winning man of the match against Nigeria at that game that ended 2-2 between Nigeria and Kenya yesterday in Cairo. Quickly, we take a quick one to look at the games between Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, Tunisia.
To the final in Munich awaited Paris Saint-Germain, who took the lead against Arsenal thanks to a first ever Champions League goal from Fabian Ruiz. The Spanish midfielder scoring in his 46th Champions League appearance to double the advantage that the French had after scoring one goal in the first leg in North London the week before. No, it was Ousmane Dembélé who scored that goal in the starting lineup.
Ben Schausch straight towards the keeper, punched it clear, take overhit pass there. Chance goes begging. It's won back quickly though by Annan, who heads for goal, gets his shot away. Is the head-to-head. Just to start the discussion on permutations, as Thomas Suwagi is forced. Ben Schausch again. Floated in towards the back stick, headed goalwards. Come Morocco again. Bouma Saudi finds his way past Cordy, gets it into the middle. Couldn't pick out a teammate. It's a Tunisia player who's gone down in his own box. Shot from range is tipped over by Suwagi.
A good moment there for Morocco. They won 3-1 against Tunisia. Nigeria played 2-2 against Kenya. But right now we qualify for quarterfinals after playing that 2-2. Well, Joseph, our team this season so far right now when it comes to this under-20 AFCON, let me use the word season for them, but really they struggle in this tournament. The first game they won against Tunisia 1-0. Of course they got 3 points. Against Morocco it was 0-0. They got 1 point. Against Kenya 2-2. They also got 1 point. To some extent they qualify quarterfinals, but if they can scale through from quarterfinals to semi-final, they qualify for the World Cup. But really they've not been too outstanding.
Yes, you could. This is another way of looking at it. You know, when I think football, I really think it practically. And practically, thinking, practically, seeing it in a practical way makes me tend to have different opinion. You know, Nigeria faced, who did they defeat in the first game? Tunisia, and won 1-0. And there was a lot of, voice, in the background. Why are they winning 1-0 and all that? As I said, what's important is 3 points. They got 3 points. Now, the second game against Morocco, they played draw. Now, what people don't know is, or what we are refusing to admit, is the level of preparation and growth that has happened to the Moroccan football, which made them, to be one of the major players when it comes to football as it stands. Therefore, they have an under-20 that is equally very strong. But that under-20 that is strong did not defeat the Nigerian Flying Eagles. They were not able to defeat them. We got a draw. For me, it's not really a big deal per se that we drew against Morocco. Now, everybody's thinking Kenya is next. Kenya lost their 2 games. So therefore, Kenya should lose against Nigeria. I agree, but then I kind of disagree to agree. The reason why I say so is because Kenya now are in a position to play for pride. Notwithstanding, I'm not saying the Nigerian side is perfect as it has been. We know what we can do when it comes to edge-grade football. But what I'm trying to say is these boys are not as bad as a lot of people are making it look like.
Too much from
yes,
them, kind of.
No, we're not expecting too much. Just that the competition now is a lot more stiffer than we used to know it. Other countries are covering the gap, and when it comes to football now, is becoming widely, accepted, and a lot of countries, especially in Africa, that didn't used to perform very well, they too now they are training better, they have better facilities, and that space, that gap is covering up. That's what's happening. It's not like these particular players of the under-20 are very, very bad. No, they are not bad. I am very sure that they will qualify to the World Cup. will they win their next match and they'll make it to the World Cup? Will they win the competition? I think they stand the chance to meet the Moroccans in the final once again.
A tough one there, talking about this game between Nigeria and Kenya. Kenya actually came to the party, give it up to Injehu and Gaia. I love that name. It sounds very African. Like I said, maybe you should be calling me Wangaya. Anyway, we've been talking about the under-20 AFCON taking place over there in Egypt, the host nation. They too, they are trying to be in the party. But right now, Flying Eagles will need to tighten well and play better by the time they face who will come against them in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a tough one because the team is coming from Group A and it's going to be a very, very tough one. Well, as it is, Nigeria under-20 will be hoping that they get to win the quarterfinal, make it to the semi-finals. By the time they play on Monday, we wish them the best there. Coach Ali Zubairu will be trying to see how he can at least inculcate so much ways of winning mentality to that particular team there. Well, first of all, apology for that mix up with the commentary with the game Nigeria versus Kenya. And aside that, right now we know that the team, even though Nigerians are expecting so much from them, they've been, to some extent, they've been progressing, and other nations are closing the gap against all the other dominant forces in Africa: Cameroon, Egypt, Nigeria, Ghana. Other countries are coming. If you remember how Super Falcons used to dominate Africa, but now it's reducing because other nations are beginning to accept football. When it comes to women football, they are beginning to go into it, and they too are learning the ropes, and they are doing well. So right now, all we need to do is to also up our antics by doing well ahead of all the other teams there. Well, good one there concerning the under-20 AFCON. At least we are able to qualify for quarterfinals. Let's see what they do against the team they face on Monday. Right now, we talk about the Women President Federations Cup. I was played yesterday across Nigeria. We look at the result quickly. Looking at it, Rivers Angels played 1-0 against Raymond Ladies before they won 3-1 on penalties. Ibom Angels 1-0 also against Atlant Queens. Ibom Angels came to the party. They won 4-3 on penalty. What a match there. Edo Queens 1-0 against Unification Ladies, who could not unify against Edo Queens over there as they played that game. Sunshine Queens, what happened to them? They went to sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazons taught them how to play football. They nearly spelled Queens. 4-0.
The gift that the Anambra State FA chairman gave to
them, actually
Nassau Amazon, it actually worked.
25 balls.
25 balls.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, when you have 25 balls, there are a lot of things you can
do with 25 different balls coming from Iluanyosi. That's the FA chairman of Anambra FA football there, rather doing well by sending 25 balls to Nasarawa Amazons, and that has actually culminated in winning 4-0 against Sunshine Queens in that encounter. Let's take a look at the semi-final fixtures after the quarter-final were wrapped up. Rivers Angels will be locking up against Ibom Angels, Battle of South-South. Edo Queens against Nasarawa Amazon, the only team from the northern side of Nigeria. So you have 3 teams from the south-south and 1 from northern side, north central precisely. Nasarawa Amazon should hang on to it, and at least
I wonder how long these 25 balls can keep them in this competition. You know, how do you have to face Edo Queens?
Let's see how it goes right now. Well, from there, let's cross over to the men's football. Also, MPFL was played also yesterday. MPFL, where Lobby Stars, we already know that they are relegated, and we know that catching a glimpse of their match against Nasarawa Amazon, Nasarawa United, a lovely moment there. Nasarawa United were able to win that game, and really they did well by being able to win. As we are talking right now, expecting that to be rolling on the net. Lobby Stars versus Nasarawa United in that game that had them playing well there. Well, for Nasarawa United, they came from behind. They were able to do well, beating Lobby Stars after Lobby Stars scored the first goal. Well, that's a good one for them. At least their main man, Anas Yusuf, also scoring and making it a good one for himself and also for his team. Nasarawa United needed that win, and they got it. Of course, Lobby, no matter what they do in that game, they're already confirmed relegated. So you can't take that away from them. Talking about Nasarawa United, they deserve it. They did well. Now, let's talk about Adnas Yusuf. Adnas Yusuf was able to score and also make it. Right now, he did well. He has scored 17 goals for himself now. We're talking about Adnas Yusuf, top scorer for Nasarawa United, and also top scorer in the MPFL so far this season. Well, that takes us to the result of MPFL. Let's take a look at the result, and you look at Ekalemi Warriors defeating Raymond. Of course, what do you expect Raymond Stars to do after they won the league? Well, they deserve that beating there. 2-0 Ekalemi Warriors. Lobby Stars won. They lost against Nasarawa United. Bende Insurance, they pipped Aqua United. Eyimba 2-0 Kwara United. Atlant 2, Plateau United 0. Katsina 1, Kano Pillars 0. Battle of the KK teams there. Niger Tornadoes play 1-1 against Abia Warriors. Enugu Rangers, they lost against Rivers United. Finidi George show experience against Fidelis Ilechukwu. And you have Shooting Stars 1, Sunshine Stars nil. Ikorodu City 5-goal thriller against Bayelsa United, 3-2 in that encounter.
Anytime Ikorodu City is playing a game, just expect goals. And the fact that they needed these points, they really needed this point. If you notice, the clubs that needed their points actually got the points. El Kanemi needed to stay up. They got the win against Remo Stars, who have already won the league already. So there's no really motivation like that for them to go and perform. And as for Rivers United, also they needed the points to keep themselves up there in a place to fight for CAF Champions League position. So does Eyimba. So the only thing that that's a bit concerning for me is Lobby Stars. I think if we can find maybe 11 footballers in this house, we can also go and beat Lobby Stars at this point. They are so bad.
What's the way to go there? Let's take a look at the table. Well, at least attention should be on those table. Let's look at the table right now. Of course, Remo Star confirmed they are the champion. You can't take that away. Rivers United, Abia Warriors, Ikorodu City, Eyimba, all battling to see how they can play in the CAF Continental. Bender Insurance, Shooting Stars in that order. Kano Pillars, Enugu Rangers, and Bayelsa United. Now let's flip it to the other side and look at, of course, Lobby Stars. They are already relegated, and there's nothing they can do about it. Sunshine Stars, of course, they just have to fight 2 more games to go. They have to fight to see how they can get 6 points to take them out. Aqua United, Niger Tornadoes, those teams, Atlanta of Owerri, well, El Kanemi. Let's take a look at the MPFA battle that will at least explain it better as it is right now. Look at the El Kanemi, Heartland, Niger Tornadoes, Aqua United, Sunshine Stars in the red zone. And it's a big one because the 2 games can get 2 points. And not, 6 points and for not, anything. And
not just the fact that you can get 6 points, and not just the 15th and the 16th are safe. If you go further up, there is every possibility that other clubs can drop down. Yeah, because he who has 45 points is just 3 points that separating that club from the one that has 48.
And even the team having 41, if they win the 2 matches,
they can still come
they
up.
have 46. Yeah, so the person having 45, if he loses, can remain in 45, and then they go up.
The competition is just the second half of the table, the second side of the table. Any club that is within the second side of the table needs to win their match, this last 2 matches, and be safe from relegation.
The battle to beat the drop is really on right now in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Taking you through that particular story, let's quickly go to the Americas. Let's look at the NBA, the Duncan Slam Sport of Basketball. Well, just 2 games played earlier today. Let's look at the result. NBA playoff coming from the East Conference. Well, as it is right now, we know that the playoff is on, but we look at the East semi-final result. New York Knicks 91-90, just a point against the Celtic. East semi-final game 2, New York leads series by 2 right now. That's 2-0 there. New York Knicks take game 2 behind another clutch. Bridges still top performers. You have Towns with 21 points, 17 rebound. You have White for Boston Celtics, 20 points, 9 rebound in this game between New York Knicks and Boston Celtics. Let's look at the Western in the NBA playoff. Western, Denver Nuggets, they tried their best, 106 against Oklahoma City, who scored 149, of course. They, as it is right now, well, SGA leaders Alexander Lee Thunder in 43-point rout of Nuggets in game 2, which is 1-1. They are tying in that particular series there. And top performers, of course, Jokic of Denver Nuggets, 17.8 rebounds, 6 assists. Gilios Alexander, OKC man, 34 points, 8 assists. Of course, give it up to him there. And quickly, we just have a tough one there. Let's look at it briefly. NBA, okay, let's look at the standing. Of course, NBA standing there. Then this is how it is right now in the East and the West. Well, OKC and Denver Nuggets 1-1. You have Indiana Pacers against Cavaliers 2-0. And you also look at it. It's getting more interesting. Knicks, Boston Celtics 2-0, 1-0, of course, Golden State also against Wolves there. What a tough one there. Quickly, let's have a glimpse of the games, NBA clips that happened earlier today.
Bridges on top. Robinson set that screen. Mikal Bridges hits the Bridges inside with a fadeaway. No one It's 2 in a row. With a move that was indeed. He goes inside. Hard knocked it away. On the floor, Anunoby and Robinson. And now McBride and Bridges, a 3. Got it! Go in with a twirling move into Tatum. Robinson. Porzingis is there. And got it. Robinson the screen. Bridges has it and Holiday on him. Bridges fade away. Got it. Goes into 5. Driving on Holiday. Budging his way inside and got it. Tipped away by Cornette. But retrieved by Brunson. 3-on-2 on the wing. Bridges. He'll put up a 3. Good. Over Horford. Rebound offensively by Josh Hart. Outside. Brunson 3. Got it. Who else? 35-plus games in that Orlando series. It's Hart across the lane and a teardrop will go. Brunson, the cutting Hart inside. A lot of traffic. Towns put it down. Clutch player. The award went to him. A chance for the lead here for the first time. You can get a quick one right here. Brunson will make a move. The jitterbug to the rack. And he got it.
What a moment there, looking at that particular encounter. New York Knicks, Boston Celtic. You can't take anything from all the teams participating. It has been a roller coaster for some, while some are trying to see how they can upstage their opponent. What a moment there. When you look at Bridges, he showed his class, and also you have to give kudos to Jokic. All of them doing well in this particular NBA playoff. You look at the result of the games played today, and also how he's standing when it comes to the playoff standing. And kudos to the man, Alexander. Leading OKC to victory there. Taking you through the NBA, we've talked about the UEFA Champions League, the Under-20 AFCON, President Federations Cup, and also MPFL, all wrapped up in 5 on the show, 360 Sport, alongside Joseph Peter. Although to some extent, at least, let me just give you some kudos to make you happy. You guys will not be trophyless next season. You will win at least.
Arsenal will not
You can win MPFL next season.
I'm telling you for sure,
Okay.
Arsenal is not going to go trophyless.
They will win.
I mean, you have all the indicators to know that they would not.
They will
go
win
trophyless.
one. They've been knocking at the door.
They've been knocking. They've lacked a striker. We all know they are going to sign a striker this season. So if they had a striker this season, we won't be discussing this.
I just hope the striker they will sign will not turn to Nicolas Pepe.
No.
Are you sure?
I promise you that.
Anyway, hopefully, a good one will actually knock on the door of Arsenal next. According to Joseph Peter, who has been with us on the show, rather, to talk about all the activities we had on the show 360 Sport, and from the entire crew, we appreciate you for staying with us to watch the show. All right, now, Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, as we always say, that sport is business and fitness. I'm Adeniyi Aji Shafe. Thanks for watching.